Dragon Ball Super. You are all my pets, and I'm dragging y'all to get neutered. Alright, this is defense mode, and I am now switching into attack mode. These are my thoughts on Dragon Ball Super, all the way up until episode 65, dubbed. Obviously, I have the Funimation account. I had VRV, but, Funimation and Crunchyroll, separate, so that's what I'm watching. I know they have the up until episode 90 in Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, they have an up until episode 90, but I have to look that up online or whatever. I have a couple other animes I need to catch up with, so that's going to be in the back burner. So, Funimation has the other 13 episodes that they do every, 13 weeks or whatever. But until then, I'll just stick with this until I catch up on the anime, and then I'll watch the rest of the dub. Now, actually, why don't I just watch the sub? Because I grew up on Dragon Ball Z, the English version, same way I did Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And if I could help it, I would like to watch Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball the way I did as a kid, and that's in English. So, I don't do that with every anime. I just do that with that and maybe Pokemon too. If they decide to, make a show that doesn't suck. Anyway, before getting to Dragon Ball Super, let me just get into what Dragon Ball represents to me. Dragon Ball Z was the first anime I ever watched as a kid. And Dragon Ball is what got me into anime. Dragon Ball Z, in particular. So Dragon Ball, the franchise, not just Z, is my favorite anime franchise, obviously. But Dragon Ball Z is what got me into anime in the first place. The whole original Ocean dub, Dragon, watch the Dragon Ball Z, from the first arc to Raditz all the way through. And when Dragon Ball Super finally came into being, first the two movies came out. The one with Beerus, the Resurrection F, the one with Frieza. And then the show came along, and shortly after the Frieza. When I think 2015. I never really got into it because I was hearing a lot of mixed things about that show in the beginning. People were saying that it was badly drawn and nothing was going on, and they're covering the two movie arcs first before they even get into anything original. And that's what kept me off it. So I decided to get back into it years later when I decided to get back into anime. Now, I was originally into anime around the Toonami era, when I was watching everything in the English dub. I'm talking about all the other shows that kept me into anime after Dragon Ball Z, like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Inuyasha, Tenchi, Yu Yu Hakusho, even what's it called, Zoids, and all those shows, man. Until Toonami closed around 2008, and then I figured I could watch anime online, but I figured, I was getting the shows I was into before Toonami closed was Naruto and One Piece. Then by the time I decided to get back into those shows, I was so far behind that I just said screw it. Especially since the English dub wasn't coming around no more. It was more like you can only watch it in Japanese version. And I wasn't used to that, so I didn't get into it. Now let's get into the first two things about Dragon Ball Super that people are going to complain about. The first thing is being the over leveling crap, which has always been a problem with Dragon Ball. And the second thing is the drawing. Now look, Dragon Ball Z had its problems. It might be my favorite anime or whatever, but it had its problems. My favorite character is Piccolo, and he was only treated good in the Big Raditz era. Immediately after that, he became, just getting his ass whooped. And Piccolo was Vegeta replaced Piccolo. Piccolo was in Vegeta's spot, so Vegeta became in Piccolo's spot, and then Piccolo had to step even more further because of Vegeta. And then I guess that's a good thing, because then Vegeta could beat Goku's bitch, and Piccolo could just stay to the side. But whatever, Dragon Ball Z had his problems with the over-leveling thing. Frieza was supposed to be the last arc in the original Dragon Ball Z, which is why they went with the whole his power level is 1,000,000, blah 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 crap. And of course the Super Saiyan thing, being able to match up to it and everything. But then after that, they just had to keep the level, raising the stakes. So it's like, what else could they really do besides say, hey, this guy's stronger? Now, Dragon Ball lives in this arc where they're like, hey, there's no limit to power. You could always be stronger. There's always someone stronger than you. Just like in real life, what they say, there's always someone better than you. As good as you are, you could be. Everyone thinks you're the best, but there's always someone better than you. Always someone that could beat you. In our society, we like to classify people as being the best of all time. Muhammad Ali is the best of all time. But we know deep down, he picks his opponents, just like Mayweather picks his opponents. Everybody wanted to prove he was the best against someone you probably lose. You know there's someone out there that's better than Michael Jordan. Even people say that there's already, after Michael Jordan retired, they're already saying people better than. People say LeBron's better than and all this crap. There's always someone better, so using that methodology, you could kind of use the same thing with the power thing in Dragon Ball. There's always someone stronger. Especially if you live in the whole God's world thing like they do with the guys and the God of destruction, the God of this. There's always someone could be stronger. After the Frieza thing, they painted themselves back in the corner with that. Because now everyone has, like, everyone after Frieza's past the million level. What are they, level 5 million? And Cell level 6 million? And what is Super Saiyan 2? Is that 12 million? Like, what is it? And what is, it's just whatever. So that power thing has always been a problem. And that's kind of the same problem here with Super, because now they have to, say, this guy's stronger than this, Barris is this strong, blah, 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 blah. They don't even do the power level thing no more. You notice that? They just gave up on that stuff. They gave up on that real quick. They're just like, screw it. After the Frieza saga, they kind of just, put that to the side, like, enough for the power levels. We already said a million, what else could we say? We're going to say trillion? Screw it. Anyway. And the next problem is the drawing. But if you watch, we watched Dragon Ball Z, most of those Dragon Ball Z when it was already, redrawn 1,000 times. When I had to get put to North America and put into these other countries, they redid them. Because we watched the original Dragon Ball Z from, the late 80s, early 90s or whatever. The drawings were terrible. The drawings were just as bad as they were worse than some of the Super early drawings when Super was first coming out. So that's not as big a problem as people think it is. That's nowhere near as big as problem as people think it is, the whole drawing thing. Even though that originally put me off. And so I realized, wait a minute, Dragon Ball Z, even though I watched it in the early 2000s, it didn't come out in the early 2000s. I doubt it did. And so one day I looked it up and I was like, this Dragon Ball Z was out way back in the 80s or 90s and stuff. Some people watched it for the first time in the mid-90s. So I was watching it in the 2000s. But whatever, and the drawings do get better and all that stuff, so none of that matters. And One Piece does the same thing. Where the first episodes, freaking look like crap. Then they get better over time and everything. No one says anything about that. Alright, so. The Dragon Ball Z. One formulaic thing that Dragon Ball Z does is the whole, there's not even my final form thing, right? They did it with Frieza. They did it with freaking Cell. And they did it with freaking Boo. And a lot of the problems, the Super Saiyan levels never really matter. The only Super Saiyan level that mattered was the first one. Well, even then, after Frieza turned into, steroid Frieza, not the second version. His second form that looked like he was big on steroids. No, the last form after his last form. The final form of the final form when he just got buff. But then somehow Goku's holding back and still able to beat him at the end anyway. But Super Saiyan 2 never really amounted to nothing because they said, when you turn Super Saiyan 2, you got real buff, but you got real slow, so you couldn't really fight Cell, who was just as strong, maybe stronger, but then he could also move fast, and you guys can't. And that was the whole gimmick for the Cell saga. But then, Gohan is younger, he turned Super Saiyan 2, but he can move fast, and all that excuses. They used the whole arc to push Gohan, to push, that was what I'm saying, to push Gohan, and just for them to go back to Goku in the freaking Buu saga. Because then if you go into Buu saga, Super Saiyan 3 is my favorite form, but Super Saiyan 3 never amounted to anything. He barely could keep up with Buu when he was at his fattest. And then freaking when Buu went into the second form, which is, the freaking anorexic Buu who came from the fat Buu, who turned the fat Buu into a cookie and ate the fat Buu, and then he became kind of in shape Buu or whatever. That should have been the final Buu to end. Once they turned up to Vegito and they fought, that module would have should have been it. But then they decided to drag the arc even longer with the freaking Kid Buu, who's the worst version of them all. Freaking can't even talk anymore. He just freaking went and then Goku just beat him with a spirit bomb. By the time he got to that point, you're like, alright, end this freaking arc already. The arc stopped being interesting after the freaking, the second version of Buu freaking, lost. And yeah, they all have a freaking third version of themselves. Now that leads us to freaking Dragon Ball Super now. Which starts off for, Goku doing some farm work. And Goten is just there chilling. And there's no point of even really talking to you about the two Dragon Ball Super movies because because the first arc is the Beerus one, the second one is the Frieza one. On the first one, I gotta be honest with you, I hated Beerus when he first came. But I only hated him because he was overpowered. Kind of like, you ever watch the movie Watchmen? That freaking blue god creature, that annoying prick. He was just too powerful for his own good. He could create worlds. All he does is snap his finger and he freaking makes you vanish. Yeah, I always hated that crap, that overpowered crap. So I hated Beerus for that reason, but Beerus has grown on me since I watched the show. But in the first arc, yeah, he has a dream. He's the god of destruction. He's the yin to the yang of the god creators, the Kais, for their own universes that create worlds. He destroys yin yang. Things in order for things to be created, they need other things have to be destroyed. Blah blah blah. That makes sense. But then he has a dream about a Super Saiyan god. The guy actually matches level since he's bored, and all he does is destroy things, and no one's on his level. So then he goes on a quest to look for Super Saiyan God, leads him to Earth. He runs into King Kai and his little baby world. Goku happens to be there, training him for whatever reason. He gets excited about Beerus. He turns Super Saiyan 3. Beerus flicks his finger, I think. He just flicked his finger and he just went down to the ground, went back to his normal form, and was knocked out. Then he goes to Earth to, I guess, destroy it or whatever. Or find a Super Saiyan God. If he can't find it, he'll destroy the planet. And then, of course, they try to feed him. This is where Vegeta gets looked like most like a bitch. I remember when Piccolo in the freaking Dragon Ball Z arc, he was like, oh, like I forgot who was coming. I think it was Cell or Boo or someone. He's like, oh, I gotta get out of here. And freaking took off. I'm just like, what are they doing to Piccolo? They made him a punk. Well, now you Vegeta fans get to feel my pain. Because Vegeta looked like a punk here. Freaking, Bulma was more of a man than he was. She didn't really know those situations, so she was treating Beerus like whatever. And Vegeta's like, hey, Bulma, don't say that. And, dancing around and trying to make sure Beerus don't blow up the whole planet. But it makes sense because, obviously Beerus is overpowered. And then, of course, he's the whole arc and the whole movie, if you watch it, is just, the whole thing is just supposed to be like, the fun of, Beerus, potentially destroying the planet, and Vegeta and everyone trying to do everything they can to get him to not destroy the planet and try to feed him and the food and all that stuff. It all leads to the point. It all leads to freaking Goku fighting him. I think Boo, the first version, the fat version, he freaking was eating the food. He ended up eating the share of the food that I think Beerus wanted. Beerus gets pissed off. And of course, he's like, screw it, I'm going to destroy the planet or something. Then, of course, Goku comes along and says, hey, at least give us a chance to get, turn Super Saiyan God or get the God version so you can have a challenge, right? Just destroy the planet and then you're done. So, of course, they go to Dragon Ball as a film. They summon the dragon, ask him how to turn Super Saiyan God. He explains to him it needs to be 5 Saiyans. I'll gather the powers and focus it into one, and then that one person becomes Super Saiyan God. So they grab him, Vegeta, they can go on. I forgot who it was because it's him, Vegeta, Gohan, and I think Gohan, Videl. And then Videl's kid inside her stomach. Which I guess that counts. I guess they could have used Goten and Trunks as well, but I don't know, whatever. So all 5 of them gathered, they all held hands like they're singing We Are the World or something, and then freaking they all focus their energy into Goku. He becomes Super Saiyan God. It's basically freaking Kaioken, except his hair turns red too. Not red like the main character in Chrono Trigger, but just, dark red or whatever. So he turns into this version of Dragon Super Saiyan God, which is just basically Kaioken. Which I figured that's probably why they switched it to blue later on, because it looked too much like Kaioken. He fights Beerus. It looks like he's actually giving him a chance. They're doing pretty good. They're going back and forth. In actuality, Beerus is just kind of just testing him out. But really, Beerus can destroy him anytime. So his whole dream about Super Saiyan God being able to match his power was just a pipe dream. Because at the end, he shows that, hey, yeah, I can beat you. And pretty much just at the end, when it looked like, Goku was actually putting him against the wall and he was going to actually go for the finishing blow, no, he just gets whipped. And Beerus I'm not going to destroy your planet because A, your food's good and I want to eat more of it. I can't eat more of it and destroy your world. And B, you actually put up a real good chance for me than anyone else could. And maybe one day you'd be strong enough to give me a chance, blah, blah, blah. He goes off. End of that arc. The second arc, Frieza. His lackeys are trying to bring him back for whatever reason. For whatever freaking reason. Yeah, why would you want to bring someone who's not much of a prick back that treats you like crap, that probably kill you the second he brings you up? And I think he actually does that, but whatever. They gather Dragon Balls or whatever, bring him back to life. He's pissed off. I think he kills some of them because he can. And then he decides that he wants to go get revenge, but like he knows he's not strong enough to kill him. So him already being, very strong from the war jump, he figured, I never trained a day in my life because I was always way too strong. If I actually would have trained, I'll be even that much stronger. So for the next 4 months, he trains and he turns into his version of Super Saiyan, I guess, for his species, the Gold Frieza. And even final form to the final form to the final form. Not the final form that we saw, and like screw all the old forms you knew about. The big giant horn one that looks buff, the alien one, the original one that looked like Dr. Robotnik in his freaking chair, the last version, the buff version of the last version. Screw all that. Now we have a gold version. And then of course, he brings all his little lackeys, to come destroy Earth. The Z Fighters destroy him off. You know what I mean. Piccolo, Tien, Krillin, all that good stuff. I think even Master Roshi joins along. Whatever. The main point is Frieza versus Goku versus Vegeta. Now, Goku at this point has been able to turn into Super Saiyan God, which we're now calling Super Saiyan Blue. Because, look, again, when has a Super Saiyan version ever mattered? I mean, I love Super Saiyan, but it's like Super Saiyan 1 wasn't the end of, Frieza until, like, many episodes later when Goku, I guess, said the satellite pretty much told him, I've been holding back this whole time, I actually destroy anytime. Super Saiyan 2 never really amounted to none until Gohan could do it. Super Saiyan 3 never mattered at all, even though it looks cool. Super Saiyan... And now Super Saiyan God, as we saw, meant none to Beerus, because Beerus just whooped him. So it was like, what was the point of that? And now we have Super Saiyan God, which I call Super Saiyan Blue, which is basically Super Saiyan. This is basically the tame version. The blue, Super Saiyan Blue is the tame version of Super Saiyan God, which is like Super Saiyan Red. Except without, 4 other Saiyans having to hold your hand and sing World the World with you. You're able to turn it by yourself. That makes it a more tame version. So instead of, this high-powered red version, it's not blue because it's more tame, blah, blah, blah. He's Super Saiyan God. And also, Vegeta was able to turn Super Saiyan God too without doing this. No one had to hold his hand and sing World the World. Nope. He was able to do it on his own. Because Vegeta's hatred to being Sega Banana to Goku pissed him off. Didn't piss him off enough to make him Super Saiyan 3, but it pissed him off enough to make him blue. So whatever. Him and Goku and Vegeta fight Frieza. At first it looks like, they're doing a good job. They're hanging in there. Frieza's actually too strong. He's whipping him. But of course Vegeta and Goku are like, hey, you just became this version of yourself and then you came and ran over to us. Whereas we have enough time to train with our God versions. So we know how to control it compared to you. So we're actually able to whoop you. And towards the end, they pretty much proved that. They start whooping on him, I think. Vegeta starts whooping on him. Because then Goku and Vegeta keep taking turns. Like, my turn, your turn. And Vegeta's about to destroy him and finish him off. Finding redemption for Vegeta, who always hated this guy, couldn't beat him. And then, of course, he takes too long, keeps dragging it out, trying to savor the moment, saying, any last words? And then Frieza just goes and destroys the planet. Beerus and Whis, which is the angel of Beerus, who, guides him and then Nick trains him, blah, blah, blah. He... It has the ability to rewind time to every 3 minutes. So after he destroys the world, he runs in 3 minutes. While Vegeta's there glowing, Goku destroys Frieza. Bam, the end. Frieza goes back to some weird Teletubbies world where everyone's happy, and that's his hell for him. Now it's time for the next arc. The most useless arc. So freaking Beerus has a freaking fat brother or whatever for whatever reason in Universe 6. Apparently Goku and Vegeta are in Universe 7. There's another universe called Universe 6 where Beerus' brother is at. And they make a bet for some reason, Beerus' brother's world, Earth, got destroyed. He wants their Earth to replace that Earth. And Beerus, in return, wants the Super Dragon Balls that he knows that his brother's been secretly gathering behind his back. So, Goku enters the tournament along with Vegeta, I think Piccolo, and a couple other people, including this small little guy who I forget why Beerus was pretending that, telling Goku that he's strong and very strong and something about him being the strongest, and Goku keeps wanting to fight him, and Beerus has to keep putting his foot in his ass. I keep telling him no, leave him alone, he'll kill you, blah blah blah. And then the end of this whole tournament was useless because it's not the tournament that we see later with Zeno, the king of all the gods, who actually makes the tournament. This is like the secondary who gives a crap tournament. There's a fat bear in here. There's a robot in here. There's a Frieza lookalike from their world that appears to be a good person, but he ends up being a twist. He's actually just as much a piece of crap as Frieza is. He pretends to care about people, but he actually, in the middle of his match with Frieza's whooping him, and he does some weird like trick where he poisons him. He hits him with something that like makes him paralyze him, and he can't move, and he beats him. So of course he ends up getting squatified or whatever. There's this guy named Hit from Universe 6 that's like supposed to be the strongest. Goku and him fight. They build it up a little bit, but Goku ends up like losing on purpose because he wants to fight him at full power or something stupid like that. You know, typical Goku crap. And then it leaves, of course, the Hit fighting the small guy. I forgot his name, and he's supposed to be the guy that Beerus is pretending is the strongest out of the group. He's even stronger than Goku Vegeta, even though he isn't. He's like this newbie who barely has any strength. Hit realized that in the middle they're about to fight is the finals of the tournament. Hit on Universe 6, he realizes that this guy is weak and he can just take him easily, and he decides to do what Goku did and just disqualifies himself. Sorry, this information is so useless. This arc is so useless. I have to look it up. Freaking Hit disqualifies himself after Goku disqualifies himself because he wants to fight Hit at full power. Blah, blah, blah. You can't fight him at full power in that little arena. Blah, blah, blah. Hit eliminates himself to the useless ass Monaco or whatever his name is. Manaka? Is it Manaka? Yeah, Manaka. And then, of course, the Beerus' brother, Champa is his name. Champa, that's Beerus' brother. He's about to kill his group of tournament lackeys that he used to win the tournament because, you know, intentionally he lost. So he's going to kill them, and then Zeno, the king of all gods or whatever, he's pretty much a small little creature that's purple and blue in the face, and he talks like a kid, he sounds like a kid, whatever. He comes out of nowhere and says, hey, I enjoyed the tournament you guys just put out, and I'm going to make a similar tournament, which, you know, we all know later on. So whatever. So Beerus and them get to use the Super Dragon Balls to make a wish. He wishes for his brother's Earth to come back. Useless. I told you, this whole arc is useless. Now the much more interesting arc starts after this. Goku Black. And this gets complicated and annoying real quick. So Goku Black freaking is Zamasu. Zamasu and Gamasu. Gamasu is the Kai for Universe 10. Zamasu is the successor. He's training and blah, blah, blah. So when they freaking Future Trunks, who was a popular Dragon Ball Z character, comes back from his future saying that now after androids there's a guy named Goku, pretty much a guy who looks like Goku, is Goku Black, as they call him, or just Black. He comes in and starts wrecking havoc like androids did back in his time, destroying everything, and then ends up killing his mother. So he runs over here to ask for help. Goku ends up following him with his time ring. Goku and Goku Black fight each other for a little bit. Then for some reason, the Time Force just freaking grabs him and puts him back in. I don't know what the hell happened. Freaking, like, time itself just said, hey, you're not supposed to be in this time. And freaking grabbed him and put him back in future Trunks' world. The one annoying thing about this Black arc is that it gives me a headache. Just trying to figure out this whole situation. So Goku Black has similar energy to this Zamasu, the apprentice, right? So they go over there. Him, Beerus, Whis, Goku freaking go over there. Goku is, of course, frantic to fight Zamasu for whatever reason because he's living up his gimmick of, I always want to fight someone stronger than me or someone who's strong or whatever. They fight, he whoops him. He's pissed off. Zamasu freaking hates mortals because of their inevitable tactic to always go into wars and conflict, and he thinks they all need to be eliminated. That's the only way to solve that because they're all, just self-destructive and always causing havoc and blah, blah, blah. And then freaking, my favorite, that should be my catchphrase now. Just freaking, that freaking. Whatever, Goku and Vegeta go with Trunks, they go to the fight Black, they get whipped. They get destroyed. They all come, we're going to time machine and go right back to the time and say, yeah, we got whooped. We should have took the... Goku forgot the senso beans or something because he's stupid. So then they go get the senso beans, go over there to fight a second time. and they get whipped again. Also, there's a side story. Mai, who was part of this little crew of this dog guy, this little green guy, and his little girl. Apparently, that little girl grows up to be one of the soldiers, and that's Trunks' love interest. And I guess that'll be Trunks' love interest for Universe 7 as well. That's a side story if you watch it. So they go to fight Goku Black a second time. This time, the Zamasu over there appears with him. So now, Goku Black is not only Zamasu, but Zamasu is also Zamasu, making the whole arc even more confusing. So Goku and Vegeta both fight these two Zamasus, the Goku Black and the other Zamasu, and they both get whipped again. This time Trunks, who has the aura of blue around it but doesn't actually turn Super Saiyan blue, because for whatever reason his hair is blue now even though it's purple, and the Trunks from Universe 7's hair is also still purple, but this Trunks is blue here, so if he turns Super Saiyan blue it's going to look weird and whatever. And then so he fights him off, and then Goku and Vegeta run off again to the time machine. You get whipped twice now. And the whole arc is real good. It's real interesting. It's the first good arc of the whole series, besides the Frieza one. The Beerus one was kind of annoying because of how overpowered Beerus is. The Frieza one is pretty good. We get to see Super Saiyan Blue for the first time, but it was actually kind of short. The tournament thing was useless. It's just setting up the actual tournament that you're actually going to care about later. And this arc is actually pretty good, despite how confusing it is. You know how many times did I look up Dragon Ball Super's Wikia freaking just to freaking be able to figure out his whole situation. So apparently freaking Goku Black is Zamasu from another timeline. Now Future Trunks' timeline, not Goku and Vegeta's timeline, a completely different timeline, where he gets whipped by Goku, just like in the Universe 7 when they went to go research Zamasu, because they're the ones that have the time rings or whatever that could go in time, and Goku Black had a time ring. So apparently he's from a universe where he got whipped. Goku went and got whipped him in a fight. He gets pissed off. He gets guys dragging He goes to this there's one creature in the universe that knows everything. He's like the know-it-all of the whole universe. He knows everything. There's not one thing he doesn't know. You can ask him any question. You can only ask one question per person for universe, some shit. So he goes and threatens him. And he tells him what the Super Dragon Balls are. He gathers them up. He wishes that he will be replaced with Goku because I guess Goku's stronger than him. He whooped him. So he turns into Goku. He goes to Goku's Earth, kills Goku, kills Goten, kills Chi-Chi, kills the whole Earth, destroys everything from that universe. Eventually he realizes he needed a comrade with him, and the only person he can trust is himself, so he goes into Future Trunks' timeline, where Zamasu is too much of a wuss to actually go with killing his master, and goes over there and kills his master himself, and tells him, hey, you and me, side to side, we'll be able to rule the whole, universe and blah 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 blah. So then Zamasu gathers his Dragon Balls from Future Trunks' arc and makes himself indestructible. Whatever that means. So now Goku Black and Zamasu are now causing havoc in Future Trunks' timeline. So that's how it works apparently. You with me so far? And then after that, so the another thing I didn't explain is Zamasu and Goku and Vegeta's timeline gets killed. Because they go and investigate a second time. This is after Goku already whipped him, to see if he's going to do anything malicious. Because since he already did it in Future Trunks' timeline, they can do it in his timeline as well. They go and visit him. They try to warn Gamazu that his apprentice Zamasu is going to try to kill him. He's like, that's nonsense. He's no longer thinking like that about mortals and blah, 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 blah. So they go and run off. But they run off, and then they're watching him, in a little orb, saying, hey, we can't do anything. Even though he's a destroyer, we can't just go killing guys because of, speculation. They'll throw things off, they'll throw the timeline off, blah, blah, blah. So they watch as Zamasu kills Gamazu. He just pretty much turns his hand into a sword, or a energy sword, and just hits him, kills him, stabs him. And then, of course, Wish goes in time 3 minutes back or a minute back, so that they could go back in there before he kills them and kill them themselves. I actually forgot about Wish's ability to go back 3 minutes in time. Because I was watching, I was like, what do we gonna wait? And I actually completely forgot about it. So Goku goes in there, tries to stop him. He confronts him, saying, hey, you're about to kill, your master, and blah, blah, blah. And they even show, he was gonna do it in the little orb thing. And he's like, that's right, because human mortals are blah, 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 blah. They need to die, and da, da, da. He's about to go attack Goku. Beerus stops him. It looks like he's about to blast him, and he just disintegrates into thin air. And that's pretty much it. Beerus freaking promises that him killing Zamasu and their timeline is gonna affect all the other timelines. Future Trunks doesn't really think that's gonna happen. Beerus gets offended and gets angry. Everyone's speculating that no, it's not gonna happen. But he says, "I'm a god, and things are different when God does things compared to when you guys do things." So they go back in time just in case to see if his timeline has been affected. They go in time, they realize, nope, not a damn thing has changed. Everything's the same. So this is around the second time they go to fight him and get whipped, and then Trunks fights him off. And then while he's recovering, he wakes up and he finds out Amaya's going to attack him themselves because she was responsible. He goes to save her and fighting them. And of course, Goku and Vegeta eventually come back a third freaking time after getting whooped twice already. And I guess this time, because of their whole, like, oh, we get stronger every time we get whooped, same thing, they're able to finally beat whoop Goku Black and Zamasu this time. Vegeta that whoops Goku Black with the... Vegeta whoops Goku Black saying that he doesn't know the body like Goku does. Goku's been with that body, been through countless wars. You don't know anything about that body. You just, adopted it, so you don't know how to use it. And Vegeta ends up whooping him. Goku's doing a good job of whooping Zamasu, even though he's indestructible. And then Goku Black does this weird thing where he takes a psych, like that thing the soul the Grim Reaper has, takes it out of his hand, creates a weird time warp, creates a whole bunch of versions of themselves fighting Goku and Vegeta. And then the other Zamasu is gonna go over and try to kill Trunks and Bulma and freaking Mai. They figure out this whole power thing of that pretty much a throwback to Master Roshi when he put King Piccolo into this little like jar thing and sealed it. Let's call it Evil Container or something. So Goku learned that from Master Roshi before they went to get whooped the third time. But Goku's and Vegeta is busy fighting Black, so Trunks has to learn it real quickly. Bulma recorded a video of Piccolo doing it. He learns it from him and watching the video. Bulma tries to distract Zamasu by flirting with him. It doesn't work. It's actually kind of funny. And then, of course, Trunks always confronts him, does the move, puts him in a jar. Then, of course, they realize that they don't have the freaking seal to keep him in a jar. Because Dragon Ball Super is goofy. Especially during the most serious moments, they get goofy. So they try as best they can to keep him in a jar, but they don't. He breaks off. But after he breaks off, his energy is very low. And Black realizes that, so he pretty much just leaves Goku and Vegeta where they are. That little portal he made with that freaking sick, or whatever the hell it's called, psych, freaking closes. Goku and Vegeta follow them. They go, Black and Zamasu pretty much say, look, these guys, we underestimated these Saiyans. We need to go full force. He switches their rings from the left ring to the right ring. They both combine to make Super Samazu or some shit. And that's up to episode 65. Now, as I'm explaining this whole stupid story for no reason, you're probably going to say, well, what do you feel about it? I like it. I think I already made my point clear. The Beerus arc I didn't really like. Frieza arc I did like. This mini tournament arc I didn't like. The Black arc I did like. So I like it. What do I feel about Super Saiyan Blue? I like it. I remember at first I was pissed off because I preferred red. Because my favorite color is red. But Super Saiyan Blue is warm. It's cool. I mean, it's pretty much a Super Saiyan 1 except blue. But it's fine. It's cool. So far I really like the arc. And I really I know the next episode 66, is going to be the return of Vegito. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm actually real interested into the show. And that's my thoughts on the show so far. Switching back to defense mode, and I'm out. Peace.